Hi, my name is Sarah Harlow, and I'm here today to help you with your Philharmonic clarinet audition. The first thing that we're going to look at is our scale. This scale shows that we can read sharps, which we don't often do in band, and this scale has 3 sharps. F sharp, which in the lower octave is here, in the higher octave it's like this. C sharp, which in the lower octave, C is now played with this pinky to make it C sharp, and then in the upper octave is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, inside pinky to play the upper C sharp. And then we have G sharp, which in the first octave is on the side, and then in the upper octave is 1, 2, 3, little pinky right here. So when we play our A major scale, it'll sound like this. Whenever you're playing your scale or any part of the audition, make sure that you're using a lot of air. Especially when we get nervous for auditions, we tend to not blow as much as we need to. Take in more air than you think and just play with all of the air inside of your body to play as confidently and as strongly as possible.
When playing the scales for the Philharmonic audition, you'll want to play the scale twice. The first time legato and the second time staccato. When you play legato, you can just slur, which means using no tongue at all. So you'll just go from the bottom to the top, blowing smooth connected air even when you're crossing the break. When you play staccato, you use the same air as legato, where you're blowing all the time, but the only thing that changes is now your tongue is in place. So when your tongue hits the tip of the reed and comes back on and off, that's how we make that staccato. On reed instruments, sometimes it's hard to get a very light tongue without getting this thuddy kind of ness to it. So really think like just using a small amount of taste buds very lightly while still blowing strong, consistent air. So if you played staccato, you can have it like this.
The next part of the audition is an excerpt. This is from Dance of the Tumblers from measure 27 to 44, which is the same as letter D. When we play this, we start at letter D. Take a look at your key signature. You have F sharp again and C sharp. So every time you run into those sharps, we want to make sure that we're using the correct fingering. Now, when you look at measure 34, you have a B to a C sharp. When we've played Bs, a lot of times, especially in band, we play it with both pinkies, this little one here and this one. You can actually play B with just one pinky here on the left. And in fact, you'll need to, so that you can play the C sharp here on the right. So when you get to measure 34, you play the B with this pinky on the left all by itself, C sharp on the right, and then the B again with it back on the left. Here's the excerpt from Dance of the Tumblers. The next part of your audition is to do a solo. A solo can be something that you've played in band before, from either one of your method books or from your band music. A solo is just a chance for you to show off what you know and to give your most musical and beautiful performance that you can. If you're not sure what solo to play, as part of the audition sheet on the back is a solo that you can use if you don't have one already from your teacher at your school. If you play the solo on the back, a couple things to watch out for. The first is that there's an F sharp. So no more C sharps. Phew, don't have to worry about that. But there is an F sharp in the key signature. The other thing is that you have a DC al coda. What the DC al coda means, if you haven't seen it in your band music, is that you'll go all the way to here in the third line. DC stands for del capo, which means we go to the beginning again. and we play all the way through till we hit the crosshairs, and once we hit the crosshairs, then you come down here to the coda and play the last line. It was basically a way for them to not have to write out all the music again, so it's longer. It's just a different kind of repeat. The other thing to watch out for when we're practicing those 16th note sections is to practice them slowly first and then get faster, especially when you look at that third line, because we have some crossing of the break to do, where we need to go from A to G to A to B, which is all of our fingers. And on clarinet, it's a particularly tough thing to do when we go from our throat tones, like our A's and our G's, to then crossing the break to the B's and the C's. A couple things you can do to help is when you play the B first, and are then going to go to the A and the G, leave your right hand down. I can play A and G with this right hand just staying here the whole entire time. So then when I go back to B, this hand never had to move or do anything. And in fact, it makes your A's and G's more in tune if you do that. So if I play slowly, that third line, the third measure on the third line, I'm going to go from B to A to G, and I'm never going to move this right hand so that I can get a smooth and fast crossing. So if you watch my hand, it just helps smooth everything out. And why move more fingers than you have to? It keeps everything nice and efficient. All right, so here's the optional solo if this is something that you want to do for your audition.